Okay, all right, let's get into this. So today we are going to focus on gaining trust with a prospect or a client, and getting altitude is the name or the word that we use in the relationship. So this is another philosophy from Grant Cardone that I really went deep on, and it's worked pretty well for me. But basically it boils down to trust is critical to making a sale and closing a deal. Because without trust, you're not going to make a transaction. So if the client or the prospect doesn't have certainty in us, our company or our ability or our products, then when certainty drops, that's when people are going to shop around. That's when people are going to say, I need time to think about it. Or maybe I need to get some more info before I can make a decision. Or things like they need to go back and talk to their team. If their certainty is low, that's where you're going to start hearing those objections come in and those excuses, because they're not sold, they're not trusting in what we're trying to get them or give them. They're going to say, oh, well, I need to go Google some stuff, and I have some other things I'm looking at right now, so let me go do that first. And that's going to be because they have low certainty, or they're not fully there with their trust yet. So when we think about buying anything, if you guys aren't certain it's going to work for you, or it's exactly the thing that you want, you're probably going to be less inclined to buy it, right? So anything, if you don't really know if it's what you want, or you want that other one, you're maybe not going to make the deal while you're in the store or wherever you're at. So that's just something to think about, because when the certainty drops, people aren't going to make the decisions. So the other thing I've been talking to you guys about is don't just drop the price to close the deal, because dropping the price doesn't increase anybody's certainty. It just makes the price a little lower. So just because we're saying, oh, well, I guess I could knock off $15. Is that going to make them trust us anymore, or add any certainty to what we're giving them, or is it just
probably going to make them not even want, like, whoa, damn, he's overcharging.
Right, so it might even make them trust us less, thinking that our prices are, a little off. So instead of just dropping the price to close the deal, we need to see if we can find a way to maybe increase the trust or the certainty with them. And so when you increase that certainty, when you increase that trust, it's called gaining altitude in the sales transaction or the sales cycle. So we want to get altitude. And now getting altitude doesn't mean that you guys know every single detail of the printing. It doesn't mean that you've been selling it for 10 years, so they're supposed to trust you because you guys have been here forever. I mean, they don't even need to know that you guys are new. Like, they aren't thinking about that. They're thinking about the product, the service, and how it's going to help them. So as far as they know, you've been here for 10 years. It doesn't matter. It's only been a couple weeks. We just have to build our trust through our confidence and our pitch and keeping it tight and what we've been learning. So because you're new, they're not thinking about that. Maybe you guys might have it in the back of your head, but the client or the prospect doesn't think about that. So don't worry about that. You're just going to get the altitude from being confident, gaining that trust rate from the beginning. So we can use tools like our samples out front, so show people, we've done some great work here and there. We can throw in some little things if you're at the dealerships. Well, we print for Cavender, we print for Red McCombs, and you can gain their trust by kind of showing the stuff we've done in the past, associating ourselves with bigger names, people that people would know. They're like, oh, well, they print for some pretty good clients. Maybe we should give them another look. Anything like that where you can say, well, we've done this in the past, check this Instagram out, we just wrapped this truck for HEB. Oh, you guys work with HEB? That's going to shoot the trust and the certainty up a lot more than if we don't have any, you're not giving those examples, if that makes sense. So we can do things, all this stuff is going to help us build our credibility, help us gain our altitude, and it's like taking off in an airplane. As soon as you get into that takeoff mode, you want to get your altitude as quick as possible by having this kind of fresh in your mind and knowing before you go into the meeting or the front counter, you have a few go-to things that you can use right away to get that altitude and take off really quick. So that's kind of it's really simple, really short today, but I wanted to bring that up. So just think about gaining trust, gaining certainty, and how you can do that really quick and gain the altitude, because once we get up there really quick in their minds, it's going to be easier for them to make a quicker, faster, easier decision. All right? So I was going to read a little excerpt from the Closer's Survival Guide today. And
GC?
this is just a little paragraph, but I thought it was interesting. So it says, the world is littered with the bodies of salespeople who learned how to sell, but failed miserably when it came time to actually close the sale. There's even more people, billions, who have great dreams, only to give them up because they couldn't convince or close others on supporting them to make those dreams a reality. Thus, the dream dies and it's forgotten until someone later has the same dream, but is able to close others to support and accept it and make it a reality. So who gets the credit? The dreamer or the guy that does the closing?
The closer.
Yeah, so,
I'm already on
and
the
it's
there.
not just business, right? It's not just business, it's everything personal. You gotta close the deal. So, just something to think about why we're gonna keep building our skills and become a bunch of closers in the dirty kitchen, adding some ingredients. Okay, and then I've got one close for us to think about today. This one's gonna be good when we're at the front counter. So we've presented the offer. We kind of know what they want. We've made the offer. And this is a quick close you can use. So whose name will we put the invoice in? Your name, your wife's name, or the company's name? And it's just a way of implying that they're going to make the invoice while they're standing at the counter. They're right here. So you've presented the offer. They're saying, okay. So they say, hey, whose name do you want me to put the invoice in right now? And that's just going to help them say, oh, my name. And then all of a sudden we're putting the invoice in the computer, we're making the close, and we're getting the payment. So that's just a quick one, easy one, simple, short, and no matter what you sell, you can even ask this earlier in when you're doing the pitch, maybe at a larger company, and that's going to help you know who the decision maker is. So you say, hey, whose name do you want me to put on this estimate today? And they'll say, oh, well, you probably should put Jim's name on there because he's going to make the, oh, then then we got to watch for Jim and make sure that he's on board with the deal as well. So real simple, really say, hey, whose name do you want to put the invoice in? Oh, well, let's put it in mine. Okay.
That kind of happened yesterday when I was talking with Nick, right? 'Cause
Okay.
he was talking to me about like, oh, well, you know, the project manager's like, well, can I get their information? He goes, you're going to want to speak with me.
Nice.
All
There you
right.
go. Now you know.
I like
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good quick tip, and one that we can use right away today while you guys are doing your front shift.
Gotcha.
And
I'll cover that first since,
You got the stuff in the afternoon?
yeah.
okay, cool. And then
I'm gonna
I
fill
know
up.
You have this gal to take care of.
Oh,
their-
can you show me the digital that she's talking about, the flowers?
Yes, I will show you that up front.
I saw the
And
saw
then
the messages on
Just
it.
a quick update. We're at 8,700, and it's the 16th today, 17th. So it's not crunch time
16.
yet, but it's coming in, and we're a little behind on the bag drops. Unless you've done some.
I haven't. I'm gonna do something
Okay.
today though after.
So we got to boost that number up
For
because
sure.
we're a little off.
Oh, I've got
our
8.
target.
I've got 8,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
I've built probably.
Woo!
And our follow-ups. Anybody need help with those right now, or are we feeling good?
I think my only problem right now is like going actually in the CRM and like putting like
The task.
yeah, like to follow it up for myself to organize it. Cause like usually what I'm doing is like I'm doing it by memorization in a sense. Like right now I'm gonna do Rivera and then Hotel Emma, the tours, helicopter tours.
Okay.
Cause I'm trying to talk to them. And then some of the museums, cause I'm trying to see if, what's his name is back in town.
Okay, yeah, the guy.
Benavides.
Okay.
Benavides.
Now I know because Marcus has been getting lots of stuff coming at him now, so I said
Yeah.
you're gonna start getting people coming left, right,
Mhm.
front, back, and it's gonna happen every 5, 10, 15 minutes, so you have to have some way, if it's in the computer, if you start making a list like him where you can really keep it straight, because it's gonna be easy to forget about people.
For sure.
Even with your list, you had that proof for Richard sitting
Oh,
on,
yeah, I know.
on your desk, and I said, hey, what's this? And he's like, oh, no. And it's been sitting there for probably most of the day.
Okay.
And it's easy for that to happen.
Yeah.
Just gotta find a system,
For sure.
personal system that works, that you can keep it straight.
Okay.